Welcome to GD Gear. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell button.
Hello friends, welcome to GD Gyan. Today we are going to learn about migration, how we can migrate our on-prem data center into cloud. We have covered entire AWS solution architect course in 3 hours or maybe 4 hours in my previous session. So now let's hands dirty with the cloud migration. So this question comes, why to move cloud, right? So just have a quick look, and by now all of us already aware that what is cloud and why we need to move to cloud. Value to business, lower risk, less TCO. Total operating costs that reduce risk. So time to market is faster, agility, no upfront investment, so you don't need to invest, plan, and then if you fail, you don't have losing that money. Somebody else would be doing that for you, be it AWS, Azure, or GCP. So cloud will do those things. Rollback you have in your own control. You can do standard estimation planning. Your plan cannot or should not move across the budget. You have a total control on that thing. Where you are trying to create an on-prem data center, you often cross the budget. More scope for automation as they have all services into AWS cloud platform itself. Less cost on infra. Definitely, it is lesser than your on-prem data center cost, including your cable, connectors, services, provider, electricity bill, AC, power consumption, everything. If you consider, it's much more less and no headache at all. So we understood. Let's move to the real topic now. So I wanted to migrate my on-prem data center to cloud. What should we do? Or being a solution architect, what would be my steps? So these are the four major steps that you should follow. First is the assessment. We have to do an assessment which is called Migration Readiness Assessment, MRA. You can see it here, right? So MRA. So which is discovery, which helps you to find out what all component you have that you wanted to migrate, your business need and cost estimation. So suppose I am going to migrate all my data center. So based upon my business needs, one application doesn't even access by any of my user. I don't need to migrate into cloud, right? So based upon my business need, I need to do a cost estimation. So that is called assessment. Once your assessment is done, you know which one to move and what is the cost. You need to now plan for the readiness planning, migration readiness planning, MRP, where you draw a business case which you're going to present to your finance team, cab meeting, so that it will get approved to your change management process. Migration plan, which all component, when you are migrating, a detailed plan with the timeline. Security aspect, you need to ensure that you are setting up the right security protocol so that it should not breach any of your important information. Operating model, which is very important. So operating model in the sense, uh, who will own what responsibility. For example, application or infra, and who will own the design, who will own the implementation part, who will own the operation part, who will own the end-to-end delivery part, who will report to you. So that operating model or the RACI metric has to be defined. Skill zone and the service selection. So what all services you are going to choose based upon your budget, which all skilled people you going to hire, who would be your admin, who would be your operation lead, those things that you need to manage. Second or the second one after that, migration, which is third one. So third, you actually do the real work. You migrate, you integrate different components after migrating, and then you optimize, right? And at the end, operation. So once you migrated everything, you need to monitor, be it a CloudWatch or any other software. You monitor, you test it is running fine, and then you try further optimizing your cost. So this is your migration framework: MRA assessment, MRP planning, actual migration, and then the operation, which is an ongoing activity or continuous service improvement. So this is the same thing. You assess, you plan, Design, basically design is I included part of my planning, migrate and then optimize, which is my operation. So moving to the next section, which is two of a migration framework. The same thing I just wanted to divide it and wanted to give a better view. So migration technique, MRA and MRP. So assessment and planning. So in assessment, we need to look for the business focus, which is definitely my values, my governance structure, roles and responsibility in terms of business, and my technical capability as well. What would be my app infra technicality? What would be their synchronization or handshaking and the security aspect? Again, on the planning side, as we mentioned, discovery, total operating cost, AWS organization, security compliances and resources. Same data, just wanted to show how the operating model, we discuss operating model, you are going to define who would be your storage admin, network admin, server admin, what would be the power, who would be owning all those things. So this cost is important. So anything we are doing or getting, it's all involved with the cost. So we should plan it properly so that it should not cross our budget or it should not become an overhead after the migration. Definitely, we are achieving this thing because of the TCO, because of reducing the cost, reducing the headache, and reducing the risk. So we should plan properly with the proper operating model. Let's understand migration strategy. One of our two slides. Remember this 6R. So we are going to cover this cloud migration technique, which would be almost same for your AWS, Azure, IBM Cloud, Google Certified Pro Platform, GCP, right? Everywhere it should be same. Only thing the tools would be different as per their own services availability. But let's understand this 6R. Rehost, replatform, refactor, repurpose, retire and retain. So what are those? Let's go to the next slide to understand in detail. Rehost. I have three services, three servers on my own prem. I just migrate them to cloud as it is. Like to like migration, it is called rehost. Just changing it from my on premises to cloud. That's it. It could be annual or it could be automated. You see it here, rehost. Replatform. I'm changing it from on-prem to cloud. It called lift and shift with some change. So that means I have something on Windows. I'm changing the platform of the OS. Maybe I have something on Unix. I'm making it AIX. So replatform is that determine the platform where you wanted to put your existing application and modifying the underlayer infrastructure. So it remains same. Only thing you're changing the platform. Replatform. Repurpose. So you have something, suppose you have your own RDS. Now you wanted to choose AWS Aurora. So you are buying basically a SaaS licensing from AWS. You're choosing a new service. You are retiring one of your service and choosing a new service, and you are moving them to cloud. So that is called repurpose. So basically we are changing the purpose. We are changing a new service from AWS cloud. So purchase a license, install and set up. Now refactor is something you are refactoring the entire design. You are changing or transforming the app functionality. So you are basically not actually moving like a blind man. You're not moving like from something you're on-prem to cloud. You're not even changing the platform. You're not only changing the services, rather you are changing and modernizing your application, which is a smart way of doing it. Even the complex of all this four. Definitely, retire means you are retiring something you're on-prem, you're not even using that. And retain is something you have a very legacy application. You don't even find that to moving to the cloud would be helpful. So you are retaining that in your on-prem until end of life. Once it is retired, then maybe you will refactor something into your cloud. So understand this thing, you have designed, determined, then you have to choose any of this method or many of this method, right? Many of this strategy. Maybe you can choose for some application rehost, something for replatform, something for repurchase, something refactor, and something retain, and something retire. So based upon your planning document, you would be choosing this thing. And once it is done, test transition to production. Hope you understand 6 R's. So it is applicable to any of your cloud strategy program. Moving to the migration tool. So these are the tools which will actually help us to moving our AWS, our on-prem to AWS. So first is discovery. So discovery is something, as the name suggests, it will discover what all VMs you have, what all server you have, and based upon that, AWS itself will understand their requirement, and they will give you an assessment result that how you should migrate, which one you should migrate under which category. You remember 6 R's. Then you have actual migration tools for database DB migration, for server SMS server migration tool. On top of that, they do have to manage service something called ATA, data and cloud endure. I'll go over to the AWS console login. I'll show you that. Apart from this thing, you have many support document available with the AWS migration platform. One is definitely professional services. You'll get qualified professional from AWS who will support your migration thing, unless you don't want it to hire your own set of resources to do that, but you can always leverage this factor with some money. Partner solution. AWS always provides some of the IT company as a partner who can help you to migrate this thing, but that would be your own bidding and cost method. Accelerated program, that also being supported by AWS. Other than that, we always have a customer support, user guide, forums. So this is the AWS migration hub from the actual migration page. I'll go there, I'll show you in detail. Before I do this migration checklist, let's go back to, or maybe we'll cover this checklist first. So you understand this migration. So first, you need to draw a business case. So let's assume you started your migration checklist. You started your migration technique now. So what you start with, you have to build a business case so that you can present it to your CAB meeting, you get your budget funded, then you understand the application portfolio, which all application you are going to move, their complete architecture, every single information you have to have with you. Otherwise, you will be missing with the wrong budgeting, wrong operating model, wrong TCO calculation. Then the actual migration plan, then the operating plan, which with the clear operating model, which will define who will own what during this entire migration, pre-migration, post-migration, during migration. During your one of the migration, it's very important you make a note of your learning so that next time when you do other application migration for the same set of infrastructure or a different infrastructure, you would make a faster progress. So making a note on the learning is also one of those very checklists. Reach out to AWS professional services partner for help and track till closer. So that is my migration checklist. I have other slides which I'll cover later. Let's go back to the AWS console. Okay, we have logged into AWS Management Console and I am with my GDGAN channel as well as GDGAN account. I logged in as a root user. Let's go back to the services they offer. I am scrolling down here to see what are the migration services they have. AWS Migration Hub, Discovery Services. So let me click on the Migration Hub. So clicking on Migration Hub, it gets you into this page. First one we mentioned, discover, import the data in a format, deploy the AWS Discovery tool, access. So it assess all the discovery outputs and give you the recommendation, and then you migrate with the existing tool. Let's click on the discovery to understand what all discovery services they have. Simple, you import into a temple. I mean, template, upload the data of your server application, and it will assess the data and give you an output. You install Discovery connector to your VMware vCenter. vCenter is like a data center where you have lot of virtual machines or VMware boxes. You can deploy your Discovery agent into your VM or the physical server instead of if you don't have the vCenter one. So these are the three types of discovery tools that you can see. Let's go back to the dashboard. So assess, if I click on the assess, it uses the discovery tool output, or you can import into the same, they have a format based upon that they will give you the assessment dashboard. So migrate the main tools. So we have server migration tool, SMS, AWS server migration service, where you have definitely one of those conventional server management service. So if I click on that, it shows connected, SMS console, server management services console. So it is login there. So where you have these options like if you click on get started, you can download a particular vCenter environment format, zip file, or PowerShell setup. You can upload those things and you can connect, and it will start doing the process. Go back to the hub. Apart from this SMS, they have a inbuilt service called Cloud Endure, which is an AWS company, which will help you to I have already opened this thing. It will help you to lift and shift kind of solution. So you understand, you remember we discussed that lift and shift, which is re-platform. So that kind of a technique you can use Cloud Endure. It doesn't charge you much, and other than that, you have data ATM motion, so that also you have. So it looks like this, but it will charge you. You have to, it is a managed service, you have to pay accordingly. So once we are done with the server, the next thing comes at the database migration tool. So this is also the console. So I have opened up the database management console. You can migrate all those things. You have this dashboard. You can create your database migration task, and you can do that. I do not have something that I can migrate with, or else I could have show you. In future we have the scope, then I should be able to show you, but you understand the services, right? So here once you connect using any of this connector, migration connector for vCenter, for your Hyper-V Azure environment, so they gives you this thing, view connectors, and then you import those catalogs. So I'm not connected, so I'll close this options. So hope you understand these tools and how they help you to connect and migrate. So definitely discovery, then the migration tools, right? Free Cloud Endure migration like lift and shift, re-platform. You can change the platform. This one, AWS migration program and documentation support. We already discussed about this. Okay, let's go back to our PPT then. So we discussed about all the migration techniques, tools. What else? Are they the end of migration process? Is that or there are more? So you remember my AWS Solution Architect course, right? I have discussed about storage gateway. We have discussed about Snowball, AWS import, export, or S3 import, direct connect, right? So these are also some of your migration tools. So if you have a large scale data you wanted to migrate to AWS, you'll use Snowball. If you have bigger than the Snowball, you use and compute capabilities, you use Snowball Edge. You have something more than that, you use Snowmobile, which looks like a truck. You wanted to connect your on-prem data center directly with the AWS data center directly without using any internet service, then you use AWS Direct Connect. You wanted to transfer some of the job incremental update, AWS S3 transfer acceleration is there. Definitely for your you wanted to have your data you wanted to have your on-prem data center, but you asynchronously want to copy that data into your cloud environment. You use storage gateway. You remember Memcache and Redis, where one migrate everything into cloud and keep the regular accessible one cache. So cache Memcached B, and Redis is something it keeps everything into on-prem and as well as in cloud. So, but people will access from on-prem. So those are the technique that we wanted to discuss. That is also helpful for some of the migration technique. Direct connect, direct connectivity, snowball, moving data faster than your internet, storage gateway, keeping your on-prem data center but storing the data into cloud, backing it up, and Kinesis Firehose, streaming those data slowly into your cloud, tweets, stock market, any kind of streaming. And transfer acceleration is also we have seen, right, based upon the latency we have seen during our S3 courses. So that's it, friends. So that's all about the migration. Hope you liked this episode or this part of the video. Stay connected. Here after that we'll definitely come up with Azure, IBM Cloud, and Google Cloud Platform, GCP as well. Thank you.
Please like, subscribe, share. Thanks for watching.